What's up everyone, this is Soul Reaper here, and in this video I want to address the return of Handsome Jack in Borderlands 3. There's been a lot of confusion about Jack, and whether or not he was actually confirmed dead at the end of Borderlands 2, despite of course the game ending with you shooting him in the face. Let me start by addressing a question I see around a lot. Is the Jack you encounter at the end of the game a body double? To that I'm going to have to say no, it's the real Handsome Jack, and yes, you actually did kill him. Well, now you're probably thinking, even if I did fight the real Jack and I did actually kill him, wouldn't he just respawn at one of his new use stations somewhere else? That's a fair question. I mean, as a player, whatever you die, you respawn at a new use station. Why wouldn't Jack? And after all, Hyperion does own them. But it probably comes to the surprise of many that, despite in-game references and explanations of the new use stations, Borderlands 2 head writer Anthony Birch has confirmed that new use stations are not canon, and do not exist as far as the plot of any Borderlands game is concerned. One of the new audio quotes in Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep says, "Warning, this new use station is not canon," while another in the Borderlands pre-sequel says, "Seriously, these new use stations aren't canon." Now this might come as a surprise to many, myself included, because for a long time I thought they were canon. But anyways, if that's not enough to convince you that Jack's actually dead, there's a quote from Gearbox exec Randy Varnell confirming that he's, quote, "so dead." On top of that, Gearbox CEO Randy Pitchford has said that Handsome Jack is 100% dead and 100% not going to be in the game. However, whether his AI fuse with Rhys will rear its head, who knows? Pitchford didn't say one way or another. So to sum that all up, at the end of Borderlands 2, you fought Handsome Jack and you killed him. However, there seems to be a lot in Borderlands 3 that seems to imply that Handsome Jack might make a return. In the newest So Happy Together trailer, we see what's being referred to as Mount Jackmore in the background, directly tying Jack to Borderlands 3. On top of that, we have Rhys, introduced in Tales from the Borderlands as a now ex-Hyperion employee who idolized Jack until he accidentally uploaded an AI version of him into his Echo Eye. And at the end of Tales, Rhys actually pulls out that Echo Eye implant from his brain. Now this game gives you the option at the very end whether to crush it or to keep it, and I want to go ahead and show you what that decision looks like now.
There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing there. Don't do this.
I'm sorry, Jack. It's over.
So as you can see, Rhys has the option to either crush the implant or keep it. And even though the majority of players did choose to crush it, this hasn't been confirmed as the actual canon choice made by Rhys, leaving the door open for a version of Jack to actually exist in Borderlands 3, while still technically be considered dead. In the same interview mentioned earlier, Varnell responded to the presence of Handsome Jack across 3 of their Borderlands games, and mentioned fan feedback being, "You know what? We're good for now if you want to take a little breath and show us someone else who could be a bad for a second." So canonically, yes, Handsome Jack is dead. You had a little ghost remnant of him in Tales, and that's even been dealt with. So we wanted to come at the Calypso twins, and we looked at it from 2 ways. What are the lessons that we learned from Handsome Jack that are really important to preserve? His humor, his relatability, some of his snark, his presence in the world. You understand his goals. He's after something that you can relate to, and that's really important. But we also wanted to come with some twists. Now, it's this idea of leaving room for twists that really lends credence to the idea that Handsome Jack might actually be making a return in Borderlands 3. Now, whether or not that's going to be as a result of Rhys keeping the implant at the end of Tales remains to be seen, but as of now, it makes the most sense for how it would be possible for Jack to return. And it can pretty easily be explained as a canonical ending, despite it not being the most popular choice with the actual players. So with that in mind, if Rhys were to have kept Jack, it would make sense that Jack does have some sort of influence on Rhys, like the way he did in Tales from the Borderlands. And that kind of makes more sense if you look at the following quote. You can see Rhys, even at moments in Tales from the Borderlands, he has kind of that ghost of Handsome Jack on his shoulder. I can make you rich, I can make you powerful. He's constantly, in Tales, fighting that image. Do I go full corporate? Do I follow on in this legacy, or am I my own man? Am I free? Am I independent of all this? And that's a struggle for him. And it's interesting in Tales because how you choose to play Tales as a player can depend some sense of where he lands in there. But in Borderlands 3, we're basically finishing off that in-between arc out. That lure of power was too much for him. He's moved into Promethea, the planet, into Meridian City, and taken over Atlas. You're gonna see. I don't want to spoil all the game, but you're gonna get to see and learn something about him as you interact. This quote seems to imply that there's something going on with Rhys. He's gonna be continuing that internal struggle that you saw in Tales from the Borderlands, and as the now CEO of Atlas, he has that possibility to be as ruthless and fearsome as Jack was, or he can be that approachable, goofy guy that we all saw in Tales. But the part I want to focus on specifically is the idea of that there being a ghost of Handsome Jack and the influence that it might have on Rhys. Specifically, one thing I want to take a look at are the new Atlas gun designs. Now, taking a look at this image, one of these weapons kind of stands out as looking a little bit familiar, particularly the wrist-mounted pistol over there in the bottom left. Now, it hasn't been something that us as the player has actually been able to use, but it has made an appearance before in the Borderlands universe. And with that said, I want to go ahead and take a look at a clip from when you're first introduced to Jack in the pre-sequel. So when it comes to weapon design, there's clearly a lot of similarities when it comes to Jack's wrist guns and also these new Atlas manufactured pistols that we're going to be seeing in the game. So whether or not Jack has any sort of influence on the Atlas manufacturing style is going to be something that we'll have to uncover throughout the playing of the game. So looking back at everything, is Handsome Jack alive? No, he's dead. The devs said so themselves, 100% dead. But are they being a little bit disingenuous when they say that? Honestly, it really does seem like that. Personally, I think I would love to see Handsome Jack back in Borderlands 3, seeing as he's one of the greatest villains of a video game that there's been to date. What do you guys think? Do you want Handsome Jack to return in Borderlands 3? I definitely think it'd be an interesting twist if they went with that. Let me know down in the comment section what you guys think. Anyways though, that's going to be it for the video. If you found any of what I had to say interesting, or if I cleared up the confusion about the new use station and how Jack is actually dead, leave a like, subscribe for more content, and I will see you next time.